Okay.
Okay.
So now we're good. So now, one more time. Take 3. Okay.
Okay. So welcome to the DEF CON group. Welcome once again to the DEF CON groups panel. We are going to do a moderated panel today with the 3 of us, which should be interesting. And then we'll do Q&A in DCG stage text channel. So let's kick it off. Casey, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure, thanks, April. Casey, I go by Adam915 if you see me around con, Black Hat or DEF CON. Typically do some pen testing, red team stuff in my daily job. On here, we just a group of us, there's 5 of us all together that get together, do the administrative functions for DEF CON groups, try to get everyone approved, the right naming conventions, help with any requests that come in from the groups. And that's about it. I've been doing about, say this is my 4th year with the team. And I'd also like to mention that there's 2 of us that can't be with us today. That's BitKiller and Sleestak. So I just want to give a shout out to those 2 because they do join in year round, but just can't be here during this talk. So April, back to you.
Okay. Jayson, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes. Well, first, I'd like to let everybody know it's like BitKiller is the DEF CON Group's global coordinator. It's like he does a lot of herding the monkeys and getting all the paperwork and stuff done. And Sleestak is actually one of our direct liaison to DEF CON. He also helps with the website updates, keeping things going on the website, keeping the information going on. And both of them do a lot of work year round. It's like people would need to realize that it's like, usually when you see goons at DEF CON, it's like quite a lot of them, they're gooning. It's like, it's at DEF CON. And we're sort of like the reverse goons because it's like at DEF CON, we don't usually have to goon that much. It's like, but we're doing it the rest of the year. It's like we're checking in the emails. We're making sure anything there's issues that come up. So it's like it's a great team effort with a lot of people doing it. I'm Jayson E. I'm the DEF CON Group's global ambassador. It's like I have the easiest job and probably the least significant, whatever. But it's like I just go around and I get to talk to people. It's like and I give out gear and swag that Will, DT, and Will are nice enough to send me to give to groups that are starting up or to go on my travels. And I don't think I've actually used to bribe border officials. We're going to go with that story. I think that's what we're going to stick with, to let me into the country and sometimes to let me out. It's like that would be immoral. So forget I mentioned that part. Let's skip over that. And so the whole thing is basically I just go around and I talk to other groups and I try to get DEF CON groups started in other places around the world. DT came up to me 5 years ago, and when they first allowed me to be the DEF CON Group's global ambassador, it's like it was such an honor. But it's like, and then I literally took it as a mission to start creating a more global network of DEF CON groups. I wanted to see a more global network of DEF CON groups, not just 3-digit area codes. So. And we've had such an amazing, I mean, there's people before I even got here. There was the 4420 with Major Malfunction. There were other DEF CON groups in other parts of the world. It's like that it started and faded. It's like it started back up. And it's just been an amazing thing to see it grow and see it keep going. So from the DC 713 to the DC 4420 to DC 91111 to the DC 7499, just DC 010, DC 086. It's like seeing all these different DEF CON groups coming together. We just had a new one coming up in Brazil, just announced the DC 5551, I believe. Sao Paulo. I'll just leave it there because I'm not good with the numbers. It's like everyone's good with numbers, but we've got this going, and we're getting more and more global input, which makes it better. The more diversity we have at DEF CON, the better DEF CON is. And that's one of the things that the DEF CON groups provide. And I talked way too much as just an introduction, so I will shut up now and go to the next one. I'm drinking.
I'm April Wright. I go by April Wright. I've volunteered for a couple of years with DEF CON groups, and I do a lot of solving problems. And I'm just going to leave it there.
Someone's caused a few, but yeah.
Well, I have a lot of experience. Okay, so let me ask you, Casey, what is a DEF CON group?
Well, I would say a DEF CON group is your DEF CON away from DEF CON experience. And, the purpose of DEF CON is for us to all to get together. That's once a year, but outside, or twice a year with China now. But outside of that, as we go venture back home in a normal year, it's a way to stay connected and a way to help each other, a way to network and have local talent display, what they can do and learn from each other. So it's just that environment when you leave, and you can continue it on and work throughout the year with fellow like-minded hackers. That's what I would call it.
Jayson, do you have anything you want to add to that?
I do. Your volumes are extremely low, and April was non-existent. So what I'm going to do is try to see if I can increase it. But on the good news is they heard me fine.
Okay.
So it's like, so it's like, I just want to make sure. I know y'all were worried about that for a second, but no, I'm at full output for all this. So
is that better?
I heard both of them fine.
Oh, there you go. So someone said they heard both of you fine, and we're doing it in the Zoom. So good. Oh, someone said I hear everyone good. Okay. Well, everybody that can't hear us properly, we apologize. And we, DFIU, whatevs, you'll be able to see it on the stream. It's like we'll have it recorded, and trust me, it'll look so much more professional than what's just been occurring. So it'll be great. So we're going to keep going. Keep rolling.
Okay. So what were you going to add to what is a DEF CON group, Jayson? What is a DEF CON group, Jayson?
Oh, put me on the spot after trying to do all the other funny stuff. It's like, okay, I see how it is. A DEF CON group is it's a way to connect. It's like back in the olden days, it's like especially in the before time. Well, we'll go with the olden days first. In the olden days, we connected virtually. That's the only way that we were able to connect. It's like we were able to connect through the BBSs, the IRC, all these different places. It's like that we were able to connect. Forum groups. It's like other people's forum groups. It's like I remember logging into voicemail boxes and leaving messages where I wasn't supposed to be because we were like messing with the PBXs, whatever.
Don't forget Usenet.
Yep, also Usenet. It's like though some of those channels still haunt me. Not enough mind bleach, but that's how we connected. And then we're able to start going out, and we started meeting like these conferences like the CCC, like DEF CON started 28 years ago. It's like, and it started showing it's like hackers being able to socialize, being able to like meet up and actually see each other and make better and stronger connections. And that's grown over the decades, where it's like more and more people are wanting to meet and connect and actually enjoy that. It's like actually make those connections, make those social connections. Because it's like I can verify you. It's like, face to face that I don't care who you say you are, but it's like I can at least judge you. It's like, and see who you are. And that's great. And then the before times hit. When that no longer became, because that was the before times when we started meeting socially, and then that created this time where it's now virtual. And so the whole concept was during DEF CON, it happens in August or the end of July, and it's just one event. And then you go home, and then all of a sudden, it's like, where are my people? Where are the people that think like me, that want to hack like me, that want to learn like me and share knowledge like me in your city? And you feel so much more alone after that. And you're like, what can I do? Well, Grifter and Speed Russer, it's like Russ Rogers and Neil, it's like what they decided to do was they started around DEF CON 12. They started DEF CON groups. They brought it to the DC 801. They brought it to the DC 303. And they started creating this environment where it's like we could meet once a month or once whenever and actually get involved and get figure out projects to do together. It's like meet up, have drinks, things like that, that just created such a wonderful event for everybody. And it was just an amazing time. It's like to get that kind of connection. And so it's just grown from that. So it's like now, instead of having DEF CON once a year, you can still have a social meetup with your friends. It's like year round. And the other thing about it is like, say you've got a speech, say you've got a talk or a project or research that you're trying to work on, and you just don't want to give it out yet. You don't want to go and put it to a conference. You don't want to like think it's, you know, not right, not ready for prime time. It's like, that's what the DEF CON groups are there for, to test it off of your friends, your colleagues, your peers, see what they say, give them constructive feedback, get inspiration, get points on how to do it better and work together to make it better. And then go and submit that to DEF CON and to submit that to other conferences and share that knowledge about. So once again, I talk way too much. It's like, it's just been a long freaking week. But yeah, that's DEF CON groups in a nutshell. It's like people meet together and they drink and they know things.
Not all of them drink. Again,
No, everybody drinks.
It is for all
either
ages.
Water. No, everybody drinks. It can be water. It can be, you know, Diet Pepsi. It's like everybody drinks. It's like, so it's, I didn't say alcoholic.
True. Hey, Casey, how many DEF CON groups are there?
I think we've got probably about 125 in the U.S. and probably 150 or so international. So growing all the time, and you know, the emails that come in always surprise me from all nooks and crannies of the world, and have to brush up on my geography and pronunciation a lot of time too.
And where are groups? Are they mostly in big cities, or
They're everywhere. I have seen DEF CON groups in sort of smaller cities in major metropolis areas. To get to a DEF CON group, people understand the enormity of Beijing. I went and gave a talk at a CISSP group in Beijing. It took me over an hour on a subway, no traffic, just over an hour on the subway just to get from one part of the city to the other. It's just so enormous. So it's like there are like, and also if you go to the DC 713, that's more like the inner parts of Houston. But then there's also the DC 281, which goes to like more the southern part and the other outskirts of the city. So some cities have more than just one because they're so big, but others are like, in the Netherlands, there's a DC group where it's just like one area that covers like half the country, and that's just that one DEF CON group. So it depends on the way it varies. It's like, but anybody in their region can have a DEF CON group. It's like, and you can start, there's no rule saying you can't have more than one DEF CON group in your area. All we say is the first come, first serve. It's like the first one gets that area code, and then any other group that comes after it gets a -A or a -B or a -C, a dash. If it gets to -Z, you got problems, okay? Figure that stuff out, people, okay? Do some combination stuff going on. It's like, but if you got like there can be a -B and a -C, and still do a great thing. And we make it, it's like we literally let you, the attendance judges it. It's like people are going to show up or not show up. We're not going to dictate who's that official DEF CON group. The people that are local decide which DEF CON groups get attended, which DEF CON groups have activity. So that's on the people there. It's like, it's all about the local hackers. This whole concept is about the local hackers doing local things and trying to affect the global impact of the hacking community through those local events.
So Um, what happens at a DEF CON group meetup?
Oh, Lord, shenanigans. But Casey, what would you like to add?
Collaboration, friendships, like-minded people. Look, and it varies. I mean, some groups go one direction. They're focused on, maybe Pi projects or Wi-Fi or drones, or it just varies. And so, Jayson,
Yeah, Ben DC from DC615, he says hack the box, presentations, projects. He goes in there and starts. It's like that's a good thing. It's like, because you can do side projects. I've seen, if you ever seen the DC801 badges, it's like, or the DC858 badge. It's like a lot of the DEF CON groups will have local. I've gotten one from Denmark. I've gotten one over here. I mean, from all these different areas, it's like you get these, and you think it's like, well, that's just about a party badge. No, it's a project to work together, to work what kind of electronics you can put into it, what kind of hacking will the electronics be able to do. I've seen people do Wi-Fi war drives. It's like mapping entire cities, their cities, just to do it, because you can. That's part of the hacker spirit. So there's a lot of things that you can do for a DEF CON project. No one can tell you. It's like DC 4420. What they do is they meet in a pub in London. It's like you got to go down to the basement. It's like a person gives their talk while everybody's having fish and chips. No, I'm just joking. I'm trying to be like, I had a burger and fries, but it's like, it's like they have their foods, they have their tea, mostly lager flavored, I guess. But it's like, and then they listen to someone give a talk, and then they social. Other groups are nothing but social hours where they just meet, or they'll alternate. One, the DC713 also meets at cPanel, where they 1 month where they have a technical talk and people sharing information, and then the next month it's going to be at a social event at a restaurant somewhere. It's like in DC 010 in Beijing, it's like they have them once a quarter, and it's like 200 to 300 people show up. It's sort of like a mini conference. DC 7499 in Moscow, they do it the same way. They sometimes have these massive events. It's like, it's not an actual DEF CON conference, it's a DEF CON group meetup that is just a huge amount of people showing up. And that's what's important. That's what makes it, it's all what you make it. It's just like DEF CON when you come in person. The experience is what you make it. So it's not one cookie cutter. This is what it has to be.
Yeah, and I was also going to say there, and I think Vin Dice threw it up in the chat, but what we really like to see is mentorship. We want to see people welcoming new faces and new talent into the community and the industry, because if we don't have that influx of talent, then our industry is going to die out. And so we want to make sure that we have that influx of talent, and then the people that have the talent already, sharing that and passing that down to new members.
And that's something that Jayson always says is outreach to the community as well. So, either teaming up with schools or libraries, or, the possibilities are literally endless, but trying to use our powers for good in the community. So do attendees have to pay to go to a DEF CON group meetup, or is it free, and who can go?
I was totally getting a Diet Pepsi. I didn't hear what was said. Was that very?
Should you have to pay? Should you have to pay to go to a DEF CON group? No.
No. You will never have to pay to a DEF CON group meetup. And if you ever have been asked to pay for a DEF CON group meetup, send that information into DEF CON group's email. It's like, and I'm sure April will be able to provide that information of what the contact information is later into this conversation. But send that information to a DEF CON group with proof. It's like, we don't want spurious accusations just to mess with someone because you want to start the group up and they started it first. But if there is proof that someone is charging people admission for a DEF CON group meetup, there are no longer going to be a DEF CON groups. It's like that has happened in the past, and we've reacted. DT, you know how hard it is to see DT mad? It's like, it's hard. It's difficult, okay? Screw with DEF CON and a thing like that. It's like, and try to charge and take advantage of hackers that are trying to do and learn. And you get the mad face from DT. It's not a pretty sight. I mean, he's a very pretty man, but it's not a pretty sight, okay? So definitely,
You don't like me
it's
when
like
I'm
there
angry.
is no charging for DEF CON groups, ever. You can, oh, and to add to it, it's like, unless April wants to talk about it, it's like about the sponsorship, about how sponsors that are not advertising their stuff that can help with that. And I'll let April talk about that because she's actually had, with the DC617, she's actually had experience with that.
Yeah, we had a sponsor that donated space, basically, so that we didn't have to pay out of pocket, because Boston is a very expensive city to be in. So people don't like to give away space for free. And so every venue and other type of place that could hold all of us was going to cost money. So we had somebody that was a customer at a big customer at WeWork back when in the before times when WeWork was a thing. So they donated their like big hangout space, and there was like a keg, and we'd bring in pizzas and all kinds of other stuff. And it was like it was very cool. And then we lost that space, so IBM had an office in Cambridge, so we moved over to there, and then that was being donated as well. And it's not like they were advertising or like had logos up or anything. They were just like, we'd just thank them at the end, you know, thank you for the space. We wouldn't be able to do this without you. Like, that was it. But there's no like signage going up or like, I mean, we never got any swag or anything, so it was just it was very low-key sponsorship. Now, if you're going to be doing something like creating a badge that's going to cost money, then that might be an opportunity to have a sponsor provide some sort of, I don't know, like stickers or pins or, you know, whatever. If there's something that costs money, that's where sponsors would come in. But it's not a money-making opportunity. Like, I've never made $1 from DEF CON groups. I've never even made a penny from DEF CON groups. I've probably spent more on DEF CON groups by like buying beverages and pizza than I've made.
Covering expenses is understandable. Profit, no. Self-promotion, no. I mean, I think that's probably the lines to walk.
Definitely.
So who can go to a DEF CON group, and what kind of people are you going to find at a meetup?
Feds.
Yep.
Feds. No, I'm joking. No, it's like anybody.
They do attend.
Anybody, oh yeah, definitely feds show up. It's like, but anybody's welcome. It's like, that's the whole point. One of the things that was talked about earlier was about the school thing, the project about getting in schools. What I've always tried to stress is, if you've got a local DEF CON group and you've got a good active chapter, you should be talking, reaching out to your local law enforcement establishment. Talk to them about what you're doing. Explain to them what you do there. It's like what hacking is, how you're not criminals, that you're creators, that you're inventors, that you're artists, and that what you're trying to accomplish. It's like, and all the things in the research and projects. Get that establishment with them, and then have them work with you on creating a curriculum about what, how to social media accounts get hacked, how to protect yourself online, how to protect yourself from predators online, how to protect your data and privacy from when you're on social media, and have them help you give that and present to schools. So it stops being some badge going into a school talking about all the criminal hackers that are trying to destroy yourself online, and telling these kids that it's bad to hack and it's bad to break into computers. And instead, you've got hackers actually working with law enforcement, telling them, no, we're not criminals, we're hackers. There is a difference. Explaining to them that, giving them that positive role model, seeing what it is. And it takes law enforcement to do that. Because for some reason, showing up at your kid's school going, hey, I'm a hacker. Can I talk to your kids for a second? You know, it's like, it's just for about an hour. It's like, it'll be great. No, that may not end well. Your results may vary. It's like, but if you have a partnership with law enforcement and you approach them with the school, I think that's a huge bonus. And I think that's one of the things that we need to encourage more is to stop running from the title hacker and start embracing it more, but educating as we do it. It's like letting people know what it means and take that connotation off of it. It's like criminals don't deserve the name hacker. It's like they're criminals. It's like I've never seen a banker who's been accused of embezzling or money laundering called a black hat banker before ever. It's like I've never had to go to a bank and worry about a black hat banker, and it's like I have to ask for a white hat banker. First of all, hats are stupid, and color designations are dumber. It's like, and so this whole color connotation stuff has to be over anyway. You're a hacker or you're a criminal. There is no color involved in that. It's like, it's one of permission. Sorry, I ran. Continue.
So does DEF CON run the local groups, or are they run by local people?
Local
Okay.
people. Jason's going to do this one better. Go ahead.
No, because then Jason talks too much. It's like you need to get somebody else.
It's a simple answer.
Local people.
So the whole
with oversight.
Challenge accepted.
Oh,
Someone hold my Diet Pepsi. There you go. It's
Well-
like okay. It is the DEF CON group locals are always held by local. It's like you want to have someone that's local and involved in the community and that is there that knows everybody. It's like, and also if you don't know anybody, I've been to a meeting that only had 2 people show up. That's a DEF CON group. It doesn't matter how many people show up. It's like you can start it off, but it's always run by this. You can't have one group saying we're going to control these other DEF CON groups. They have to be local. That's the whole point of it. See how long I made that?
Do you need anything special to start a group?
I've heard
The
that
will.
tutus help and rubber ducks, but that's just me. It's like some other people may have other things that they may say that you also need.
The desire. Just the desire to learn. Get better. Make the world a better place. And rubber ducks.
Yeah, you don't need a website at first. It's like you want to help get the information out. You don't need an infrastructure. It's like you just need a place to meet, be it a park, a university, a restaurant. It's like some place that's local that is available and free to all to show up with. That's what you need. It's like there should not be a cost barrier on getting into a DEF CON groups. It's like it's got to be somewhere public. It's helpful if it's a place where everybody can get in. It's like of all ages. It's like because you don't want to be exclusive. It's like so you want a place that's inclusive that allows everybody in. But once again, the whole thing is it's like it's what you're going to make it. It's like but it can be anywhere. It's like there's no cookie cutter solution. There's no cookie cutter answers to that. If they were, there was like really weird looking cookies. So I wouldn't eat them.
I would add to that having a team helping to run it was definitely key for us here in Boston. We had 3 people that were helping to organize things, and I mean, I couldn't have done it alone, for sure, no way. So that was really helpful. So if there's not a group in your area, how do you start a group?
Find the template, which I will put in the text chat. That gives you the step-by-step instructions of what to email us, where to email it, the questions that we need answered. And I would just like to say, please just respond to those and with email. Don't put them in Word. Don't put them in PDF. We won't open them. So just respond to those questions. Please answer all the questions that you can. Like I said, Jayson said, you don't have to have a website to start, so it's NA there. But the thing that I would ask too, that we run into a lot and have to do, spend a lot of time on every week, is trying to do due diligence in terms of incorrect information, especially, and I'll let April talk to this because this is her thing. Please do your due diligence in terms of trying to get your number correct when requesting to start a new group. And do your due diligence in terms of trying to see is there a group already in your area, and if there is, if you're requesting that second one, maybe reach out to those guys first if you haven't already, to see if you can help, or see if you can collaborate with them before you start a different one in that same area. But April, what'd you like to add to that?
Yeah, and if you find that a group that's listed on the site is actually inactive, let us know, because we want to know that, so that we can either get them removed or replaced or whatever. So I mean, we definitely try to keep the website as up to date as possible, but it's only as good as the community contributions to it. And yeah, in terms of naming conventions, so yeah, that's one of the things that we sometimes struggle with, is people will register a domain and a Twitter account and an Instagram and all this other stuff, and their dialing code is not what what our structure is. Or they'll pick, like everybody wants to be DC 42
DCG
or
1337.
Yes, everybody wants to be
42.
DC, but that's not how it works. It's dialing codes, and it's dialing from the US to wherever, or North America, I should say, from North America to anywhere else. So if your country does not have a 4-digit dialing code, then we put a 1 in front of it. It's pretty simple. And it's down to the city. So if you're usually it's a country code and then a city code, and you put those together, and that's the way you do that.
And I posted the link there that we typically use with dialingcodes.com. That's sort of where we go. There's every once in a while we found some discrepancies in there, and we'll have to investigate a little further, especially with the international. But if you stick with
grandfathered in, and there's been some exceptions, because we're hackers. We have to have exceptions to prove the rule or to disprove the rule, or however that saying goes. It's like, but we're not totally in line. But overall, most of them are in the area code, and trust me, DT has made that is another stickler that he has created, and rules that he's laid down, that they have to be that from now on going forward. I know that for a fact because he gave me the mad face. That's how I knew that was like what his mad face looked like. So yes, it's like you have to have those correct. One of the things I would like to bring up, it's like someone from the DC615, Vindice, or I don't know how to say the username because it's too far away and I'm old, but brought up about like during COVID, it's like with the Zoom meetings. I want to stress, that's one of the things, we're no longer meeting in public places. It's like now people are coming up with Zoom meetings. They're coming up with Jitsi meetings. They're coming up with Google Hangouts. There's all these different meetups that are happening virtual now. It's like DEF CON right now, where we're at right now, is virtual. It's amazing. It shows the resiliency, and it shows the just inventiveness of hackers to solve problems. It's like, I mean, yeah, we create quite a bit, but we solve them. It's like, it's like we find solutions for them. And that's one of the things that I love about this community as well. And I have to take this moment where I'm going to totally, derail the whole conversation for a second, because I mean, they knew it was going to happen. It's like eventually at some point this was going to happen. No, you don't have to worry, guys, so strongly. It's like, I mean, I was afraid you were going to need an optometrist visit after that. But it's like, but seriously, the DEF CON group's global village that occurred this weekend was an amazing testament to the resourcefulness of all these different DEF CON groups. We had speakers from Mexico, Chile, India, the US, it's like Australia, from all over the world, speakers for over 2 days doing great world-class talks in our alt space VR virtual reality environment. It's like, you know, if you drop, you know, acid after watching Roblox or something, playing Roblox, it's like that's probably what the event looked like to a lot of people. But it was amazing, and it was so cool. And there were so many people, and I'm not going to name all of them, and I can't, and people are going to hate me for it, but it's like I just can't right now at the spur of the moment. But you have TX from the DC 9111. It's like you have 800XL from the 858. You have Alan from Australia, I think Melbourne. I'm sorry, I don't remember the numbers. That's a lot of numbers behind his DC group, and he's going to hate me. But he did. TX was with the volunteers. The DC 911, the goons just came out in force, helping with the world, making sure that the lobby was taken care of, making sure that nothing really too bad went into the DCG stage voice Discord. They were working with the presentations, they were working with the slides, they worked with the speakers. You got 800XL that worked with the slides.com. He paid his own money and bought the slides.com account to make this happen. It's like you've got Alan, it's like, and Nira, who created one of the best homages and just wonderful environments to throw a conference in. I mean, literally, it choked me up several different times. It's like the way that they put the different Easter eggs in it, from the beach balls to the pool on the roof to the picture of the lady. And then Alan decided, Nero was like, let's put googly eyes on everything. And just watching that whole thing unfold on Twitter as I went around and found all the googly eyes. And this
Raining
last
rubber
moment,
ducks.
I mean, I never thought it's like, I mean, there's hardly ever been a DEF CON where I haven't been choked up and like almost to tears, just over the overwhelming emotional excitement and just love I have for this community. And another one of those was when I first saw Nira with the beach balls, and then when I saw Alan today, right before before we got into this meetup. It's like doing the rain of rubber ducks falling from the sky and just bouncing over everywhere. It was just unbelievable. It's like the commitment that you do like that. It's like there were so many other people, Emular, Nira, and Alan. They were all three critical in creating this world. There were just so many people that just contributed and made this happen. And we had so many different attendees from everywhere. So thank you all for that.
Yes,
and I'm stopping. Okay.
Well, we don't want to run into closing ceremonies, so.
No, the closing ceremonies is for another hour.
Hour and a half. Hour.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
So well, I'm gonna keep going until they force me to stop. So we got at least another 15 minutes of time.
You're in the wrong time zone.
Beginning.
I guess so. Yeah. All right. Sorry.
Who wants us to keep going, or who wants us to stop now?
Well,
First one in the chat decides everything.
We started a little late, so we should probably keep going for like another 15 minutes if possible, and take questions.
Well, yeah, at least answer questions.
More. Sorry, the crowd has spoken more. I was going to go more anyway, but it's better if I have like, you know, some kind of thing going on.
Okay, so can you explain why we use dialing codes instead of something else?
That's old history. That's like the freaking, you know, the freaker's way. It's like, you got to remember, it's like DEF CON, it's like one of those things. It's like, I mean, it was based off war games. The name came from war games, and the freaking that Matthew Broderick did it, you know, the patron saint of hacking. And it's like, so it's always been at its core, hackers were the freakers and the coders and the breakers and the explorers. It's like, so that's why I started off with Erica, because that was a good way. It was like a numbered system, you know, we like to be orderly sometimes, though we obviously like to break it as well. But yeah, that was a good way to start it, as good as any. So it's like, I think that's how that came about.
So what happens after somebody starts a group? Like, so they submit an email to us.
Chaos. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. So they submit their application. They're not approved at that time. They just submitted an application. So what happens like behind the scenes? Like, somebody want to talk about what we do after we get that email and why it sometimes takes a while.
Well, I would like to say, like, the one thing I want to say is that, you know, I think Jayson just mentioned that you're not sort of approved until, you know, it officially goes on the DEF CON group's website, because what we have had, literally, we've had 3 emails land in that inbox for a request for the same area code within an hour of each other from 3 completely separate people. So before you make it official for yourself, you make sure it's official on the DEF CON group's website for there. And then a lot of times, when we do have those conflicts, April is typically the one that reaches out, and she'll reach out to have some further discussion in instances like that, or if we need clarification on the information that you've sent, in terms of just trying to clear that up. If we can say, hey, you requested this group, and another person has requested it as well this week. Can you guys get together and see if you can join forces? And if not, come back to us and we'll go the AB route, or the number and letter route. But April, Jayson.
Yeah. So basically, the process is that the email comes in. Somebody has to manually take that information, put it into our tool. Then we will review the information. Sometimes there's questions about what's happening. Sometimes the email is not an application; it's a complaint, or it's a question, or an update to something, or I don't know. There's all kinds of different things that people. I mean, it's a two-way street. Like, it's not just us telling you things and applications coming in. Like, we are here to help and solve problems and make it a good experience for everyone. So like Casey said, sometimes there are conflicts between naming, or conflicts between cities, or there's already there's a lot that goes into it. Yeah, or your number's wrong. But I always feel so bad when I have to tell people that, because a lot of times they've like registered a domain, and it's like, well, you could have emailed us first and asked what your name would be, and we're happy to look that up for you. If it saves time and money, I mean, that's certainly a service that we provide. And you can ask us any questions. Like, people have said, like, well, what do I get for running a DEF CON group? And the answer is, you get put on the website. You get visibility that way. You don't get like a black badge.
Maybe a visit from Jason Street in the future.
Yeah.
It's like, no, if you're starting a DEF CON group because you want recognition or you want credibility, boy, did you pick the wrong thing to do. It's like a DEF CON group is about the community. It's like, it should be, the less your name is done. It's like, one of the biggest things when I've seen events that happens is people try to get credit for something, and that's when things fall apart. It's not about who gets credit for it. It's a fact, does it benefit the community? Has it been done well? Has it been done well? Does it benefit the community? That's what your goals are. It's like to benefit your community, the hacking community, and your local community. It's like be a great representation of what hacking is, because I'm the DEF CON Group's global ambassador, but every single one of you is an ambassador to the hacking community out to the general public. You're going to be what they see when they think hackers. It shouldn't be a trench coat or a hoodie and an air of like techno babble about how smart I am and how stupid users click on links. It should be the ambassador of like, we're starting a group to help educate and to work on projects and to create. That's what it should be about. That's what you should be doing. So that is what
you should be getting out of it. The satisfaction that you helped the community, that you helped your hacker community, and that you helped the community at large to do better and to be better. That's what it is. I'm tired, and no offense to the Cali guys. It's like, but I'm tired of the try harder. It's like, I'm more of the do better, be better. That's what we need more in this community. It's like, so that's what you get out of it. If you're expecting anything else, sorry, I got nothing for you.
Yeah, well said.
Your voice went up there a little bit, Jayson.
Sorry, too many diamonds.
That's the passion part. It's like he gets into it.
Definitely. So, what are some things that DEF CON groups have been doing during the pandemic to stay together? I mean, we talked about Zoom meetings and stuff like that, but I mean, are there projects that are being worked on remotely or things like that? So let me give you an example. So we're going to be dissecting this animatronic pony in a couple weeks over Twitch and making it do our bidding. So it's a bunch of Boston people, and we have a couple, 2 out of 5 of AndNetXOR that are going to help out on the West Coast. So there's a collaboration there, and we're going to just take it apart and do it like an operation. It's going to be amazing. I think it's going to be pretty cool. So like, what are other people doing? I guess this is a Q&A for Discord and you.
Couple things that I've heard that have been interesting. I've seen a lot of people, trying to the 3D printing in terms of helping with masks.
Yeah.
Coming up with solutions here. I know that I've seen some of the groups out there trying to work on, fortunately, we haven't met this threshold yet, I don't think, but trying to come up with some made from scratch respirator type things, solving problems related to our current situations. And so I know there was one group that I spoke with last night that was trying to get PPE redistributed. They had a surplus of it, and so not necessarily hacking, but they just knew it was a benefit for our world or our communities, and they were just trying to get that redistributed.
And that's what works. And I'm telling you, it's like, and once again, I'm gonna harp this because I don't care. The DEF CON group's virtual global village that we've started. One of the things is like, I mean, this has been like, I mean, I've always said it. I'm saying it on almost every freaking thing that I've been on is like, it's been a crappy apocalypse. This is not the apocalypse I've signed up for it. No zombies, no gun. I don't even get the Mad Max leathers, which really pisses me off, quite honestly.
I mean, you can still wear it.
I know, as I'm trying. It's like I got my biker outfit, so it's like, so I mean, half-star Yelp review for this whole freaking year, right? But one of the things I have seen is that it's fostered a more global approach because we're now no longer tied to a geopolitical point. It's like the borders are finally not an issue anymore. People are connected. One of the best moments, I'm seriously, during this whole pandemic was the fact that Ali Dennis from I think San Diego, DEF CON group in San Diego, DC858, it's like, is speaking in Melbourne for Alan's DEF CON group. It's like, that's what it's about. It's like having that virtual conference where it's like DEF CON, I want to see TX or 800XL or Emulers. I want to see these other speakers giving talks in other DEF CON groups in other parts of the world. I want to have a global virtual event every month where it's like we all meet in Allspace VR and socialize and have talks and meet up with each other. It's like we're working on that. It's like we're trying to make that happen because that's what it's about. It's the one thing that this pandemic has given us is no excuse to not connect on a global scale. No more excuses on not connecting virtually and meeting with other groups and projects. On our first iteration of the website 5 years ago, I created a sister city kind of board that we're supposed to put on the website that we wanted to have happen. And
Oh my gosh, did it flop. It was horrible. It was total fail, 100%. It was sucked really, really bad. It was like, it was bad. I felt bad. Okay. It's like, I didn't even get the DT bad face. It was more like, I'm more disappointed than angry. And it's like, you know, which is even worse sometimes than the mad face. It's like, so it's like, but now that's coming together. Now that's what we've been trying to get for over 5 years, and like probably since it started, is coming together where we're getting more of the groups connecting to each other, working with each other, and actually forming that kind of network. So that's the amazing thing. It's like, I want this to keep going. It's like, this doesn't have to end during the pandemic. This doesn't have to end at the end of this year or next year. It's like, depending on what country you're in. It's like, but it's like, I want it to keep going. It's like, I want it to keep spreading and having more groups meet up and connect. It's like hearing, and I'm telling you, I was in that DEF CON groups Global Village, and it's like, and you hear the voices. It's like you hear people, and they're not all speaking English. And that's awesome. It's like you get to hear that you're dealing with people from different parts of the world. It's like you get to hear different accents. It's like, you know, because Alan, he's from Australia, so he doesn't talk English. It's like, sorry, I'm an American. It's like, so it's like you get these people, it's like from all these different parts of the world communicating. And it's amazing to see that you were actually communicating with people from all over the world and meeting with them right then and there in that space. Is awesome. I want that to keep going forward. So I forgot what the question was. So.
There was a question.
I have no idea. I think there was. It's like, I don't know at this point.
There was. It was, what are groups doing during the pandemic to stay connected?
There we go. Yeah.
So I asked and answered. Do we have any?
Well, I think.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think one of the other things, and this may sort of try to tie things up as we close out, but along those lines of, you know, this is the first virtual conference that we've had, and I think a lot of us came into this, you know, sort of scratching our heads in terms of what it would be like. You know, I'm definitely sad that I didn't get to see all my hacker family in person in Vegas. I know my feet are thanking me for staying home, but you know, it was interesting. It was an interesting run at it this time. I think there's certainly some aspects that I would like to see go forward from this too, and you know, I think it does help to close the gap and bridge the gap, and gives us better ways of communicating with each other from all different parts, and you know, but it doesn't replace the in-person face-to-face thing either. So anything from you guys on that?
Well, it certainly has opened up DEF CON to a much broader audience, not only people who may not be able to travel across the world or may not be able to afford to come, or you know, may just have other things going on. Like, just having this available to people everywhere instead of just people who can make it to Vegas every year, I think is amazing, and it should have happened a long time ago.
It's been huge. I would tell you that there's always a moment. It's like at every DEF CON, every conference, there's always that moment, and there's always that one person. It's like, usually there's always one person who makes it bad, but there's always that one person who makes it good. That one person that says, that's why I did it. That's why this happened. This is why I was here to work on it. This is why there was effort. And I will tell you, it's like X-Ray DC 404 from Atlanta. It's like, he's in that DEF CON virtual world. And to watch him, it's like he's not able to leave. He's not able to go to DEF CON. It's like he has, for medical reasons. And he was never going to be able to attend DEF CON. And listening to him interact with all those different people from all over the world, and hearing him talk to people and just sharing, and the way his voice sounded, it's like the way he enjoyed it. And it's like, and it was every single person he was there to communicate with. And it's like, and how much he was grateful for that opportunity to get that part of DEF CON. He was the one. It's like, he's the reason why this works. This is the reason why that DEF CON group village was around. And that's the reason why DEF CON and this hacking community is so amazing. It's like, it's people like X-Ray who just wants to connect and just wants to belong. And it's like, and that's what made it worth it for me.
And a lot of people probably don't know that none of this existed like a week ago or 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean, this was put together extremely quickly and very well done. So yeah, that's the power of the community, right? So I don't have any more questions, but are there questions from Discord?
I can't read the screen hardly, so I would not know. I'm like obviously at the length of my cord here.
I can't.
Well, I see where Red X, this is his first one. So, you know, he hasn't been able, or she hasn't been able to attend in person. So hopefully next year we'll get to do that and be able to meet face to face there too. So
Yeah.
please try if you can.
For the last
And
2
we're all-
years, for the last 2 years, we've been doing a panel talk, and then having a little meetup afterwards, and just getting people together that run the different groups, and having social time, and it's been really cool. So hopefully we will be able to do that again next year.
Well, that's a good segue, because we're actually working and communicating with a lot of the DEF CON group leaders that helped with the global village that we did this year, about creating an actual real world village in IRL next year. It's like creating, I mean, submitting it may not be, we play it fair here. We're going to submit the proposal just like every other village has to, and see if we get selected. But actually having one where it's like there's a social area, and then people are giving talks about what their DEF CON groups are doing. It's like in what projects they have, selecting a speaker that has spoken at a DEF CON group before, give that talk and showcase it. To have a certain area that's going to be scheduled, where each DEF CON group can schedule to have a show and tell of projects they've done in the back of the room. It's like where we can actually have that kind of sharing information. It's like through the whole DEF CON. It's like that's something that's still being worked on, still being organized. It's just, you know, me spouting it off and surprising the other organizers. But I see it happening. It's like, so, and I want to see it happen. So that'd be great.
You're not wrong. That
Yep.
sounds pretty cool.
Got one question there, and like, how much do the DEF CON groups work together and crossover on projects?
Not enough, but hopefully getting better.
And what can we do to create a more regular monthly DEF CON community meeting? I'd love to be able to see these sessions and streams. Sheer number of names and channels on the server, highly unnavigable. 500 something channels on this server, and we reached the cap. So they were having to take channels away from people, and I know that we got some of our channel allocations later in the game. But Jayson, you want to?
Yeah, we're working on creating a, this is one of those things where you heard it here first, but unfortunately the other organizers and DT's hearing it here first, so don't quote me on it. But we are working on trying to get a DEF CON groups Discord server that'll have a DEF CON group area where we'll have channels for at least each region. It's like, if not for each group. Where we can start making and sharing information and cross-pollinating and start doing cross-projects and starting getting that kind of involvement going on. That's not something that we have available. We have an unofficial DEF CON groups Discord server that no one's supposed to tell DT about. So, okay, but it's like, which we've done a lot of coordinating on. That's made a lot of this happen. Hopefully we can roll with that and make it bigger and evolve it and make it a platform year round.
Yeah, I think if we can maybe do it on a weekend or something, and open it up on Saturday at midnight GMT or something, and then keep it open until Monday morning or whatever, and that way people all around the world can join when they can.
Oh yeah, for the global meetups, for sure. It's like, I'd like to see that. It's like, so I mean, I think that's one of the best ways to do it. We're just going to try to make it work. And if we get caught and DT catches any of us, we just say Grifter said it was okay. That's all you need.
Always Grifter's fault.
Grifter said it was okay. That's what I'm going with, and it's like, it's never failed me yet.
I'm going to make that into a rubber stamp, like a custom stamp.
I actually have the sticker. Chris Hagnaggy from social-engineering.org literally created the Grifter said it was okay stickers. It's like, so yes, they're invaluable to have.
But the stamp is, you can use it anytime.
That is true. The sticker will not get you out of jail. It's like the police do not adhere to the Grifter philosophy, unfortunately, especially in Paraguay. Paraguayans.
I feel like you know this from experience.
Yes.
Weren't those originally Noid said it's okay stickers?
No, Noid, I believe that the Noid stickers, I actually have one on one of my laptops. It was Noid said it was cool. It's like, I think it was, Noid did start one. It's like, it was a little DEF CON history of like, Noid actually writing a note, telling Noid said it was cool or something like that. And it's actually someone recreated the little note that he wrote. And they actually put it on a sticker. So I do have that somewhere on one of these laptops, which I don't know where it's at now. But yes, that was the original. They said it was okay sticker. Is that Sleestak?
It is.
It is indeed.
Look at you. You might as well make an appearance. Thank you. It's like, here's one of the other vital members of our organization. It's like, and one of the like key members. It's like more important than I am. It's like who actually makes a lot of the stuff in the background work. So thanks for contributing and being part of the group for like year round, not just for the meetup.
Well, gosh, thanks.
It's like, and if we run late and stuff, and DT gets mad and gives me the mad face, I'll say Sleestak said it was cool. It's like he was like, he was contributing too. It's not just my fault. Sleestak was over there, adding to it.
Yeah, is there anything that you want to talk about or add to?
Yes, please.
Oh wow, no, I did not prepare my Oscar speech.
Too late. You're committed now. Got to go all in. It's the DEF CON way.
Well, I'd like to thank my agent, the publicity team, all the nameless people who helped me get to this point. So I don't remember.
I think he stepped on. Yeah, they were there because he stepped on him on his way out.
For all the mics,
thank you for being the stepping stones to my glory.
Are there any more questions?
I'm afraid I've been busy with a whole bunch of other stuff.
Oh, definitely. We appreciate the work you do because you don't just work on, and that's something we should have clarified too. You don't just work on the DEF CON groups, coordinating it on the board. It's like you're one of the key members of DEF CON staff that helped organize this conference and make this whole thing happen in real life and virtually. So thank you for all of that because this really wouldn't be here without your contribution. It's like, and with other people besides just DT, you've got Nikita, you've got Will, you've got Neil, you've got Riverside, you've got so many other people. Shannon, Linda, obviously she does amazing work. I mean, there's a lot of people that make this happen behind the scenes that you don't even know about. It's like, so hopefully you'll find out in the closing ceremony. So go to the closing ceremony, which we're now about to be encroaching time.
And those people actually like get paid to do this. The rest of us are volunteers. We give time out of our family lives and personal time and work and everything else. So, you know, it does take some time to get to some of the requests and things that we get, but we've been working on that and trying to. Now that we're on Discord, we've been meeting much more frequently to talk about stuff. So hopefully things won't fall through the cracks.
I'm not gonna lie, I am not in any way happy about COVID and all that business, but it did force us to try something like Discord, and I am glad we did that.
Definitely. I'm right there with you on that.
That has been a sort of a revelation.
Yes. It's like one of the things that
And if things had gone normally, we wouldn't have ever done it.
Exactly. I said one of the only good things about COVID is a couple things. We learned exactly what an essential worker is. It's like, and we've been able to connect, you know, a lot more virtually and stuff. So I think that's helped out tremendously.
Yeah, you know, telemedicine is amazing. It should be available to everyone all the time.
I think it's kind of cool. A whole lot of middle managers who thought they were essential until a couple months ago.
Oh yeah. Well, we also learned that it's like, you know what? It's like teachers are a lot more appreciated now than football players. And I'm sorry, but it's like I think the person who stocks my toilet paper is a lot more higher up on the essential food chain than was previously told. It's like, and all the people that are delivering foods and that are hitting the service industry that are like keeping, you know, people fed, keeping people with, you know, essential items that we need every day. That's what I think has been an eye-opener. It's like, and now you start thinking, oh, maybe, you know, $13 an hour isn't worth having, you know, to risk your life to like make sure a food shelf is stocked. So don't get me on this. I'm sorry, another rant, but because I can spend another 30 minutes on that alone.
And,
but yeah, it's like, it's been great.
Yeah, I think we all have appreciation for people that are on the front lines of this, and a lot of people that come to DEF CON don't work in InfoSec. They like we had somebody that was working at a grocery store when they started coming to the meetups, and now like a couple of years later has an InfoSec job. Like, you know, people come from all over, and people will join DEF CON groups that aren't in the industry. Either they're just interested in what's going on, or they want to learn, or you know, meet people, or they're maybe they have a kid that's interested in IT stuff, and so they're trying to, you know, find out what it's all about, see how they can help. It's not all just people that do security all day at work. So that being the case, thank you everyone for joining. And if you have any questions about DEF CON groups, it's defcongroups.org is the website. And there's lots of info on there. If you have any questions, email us, or I guess Discord. I don't know how long that's going to be around, but yeah, just Twitter, DEF CON groups. What am I missing?
Forums on the DEF CON forums. There's a whole bunch of group stuff.
Yes, the DEF CON. We should have mentioned the forums at the very beginning. Yeah. It's like the forums has been a great resource for groups to meet up and collaborate before Discord was even around. The forums have been amazing, and I left my car window up because there was only a 15% chance of rain, and there's thunder and rain now. So I'm going to bail.
Okay.
Thanks once again for everybody. It's like I got to go get a mop for a car.
Enjoy your closing and stay safe.
You had a good con. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone.
Y'all take care. See you guys. And I'm trying to see if we change. This is going to be fun, because this is either going to this is going to fix the problem, or it's going to make it where they can only hear me and then they can't hear you. And then I'm going to like start saying all these horrible things about everybody, like y'all are saying these things. And like,
I'm good with that.
There you go. So, now, you're not good with that, Casey? Can you say that one more time to see if people can hear you?
Test, wink, 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 wink.
All right. Does everybody hear Casey say that he doesn't like soft tortillas?
That's nonsense.
I mean, I love soft tortillas. I can't believe that Casey would say something like that. That is horrible. Did anybody hear say that? Is Casey talking? Did anybody hear him saying?
Test. I love soft tortillas. Give me a smiley face soft tortilla.
I've been literally living off of soft tortillas during the pandemic.
Oh my gosh, April, I cannot believe you would say something like that. Did anybody hear that horrible thing that she just said about DEF CON and DT, which I think is totally scandalous and totally improper? Is it working?
So we have three audios now?
Okay.
Without any echo?
It's working. Okay. I didn't know that would work. I literally just hacked it together. You just saw the hack live. I'm just doing some stunt hacking over here.
It's almost like we're dissecting the hack live.
Oh, there you go. Touche. It's you.